Welcome to the deep dive. We take the sources you need to know about and, well, distill them into the key insights.
Hmm.
Today, we're plunging into a really critical health topic, one that often flies under the radar: hepatitis.
Yeah, it really does.
We've got a stack of actually pretty fascinating information here, articles, research to help you quickly grasp what makes this condition such a global challenge.
Right.
Our mission, really, is to shine a light on this silent struggle and explore the scientific hope that's genuinely emerging.
And it's quite striking, isn't it, how a condition can impact millions, literally millions globally, yet remain largely, well, invisible in the public eye.
Exact?
Hepatitis, as our sources clearly show, is precisely that. It's uh, basically a group of viral infections causing inflammation of the liver.
Okay.
And the complexity really lies in its different forms and, crucially, how it often progresses silently for so many people.
And that's exactly what we want to unpack for you today. What is hepatitis? Why is it such a major concern around the world? And importantly, what's actually being done to fight it?
Mm-hmm.
You might honestly be surprised by how many people are affected without even having a clue.
Yeah.
So let's start with the basics then. What exactly is hepatitis? Our sources define it as inflammation of the liver, often caused by viruses. But it's not just one single thing, right? It's more like a family of conditions.
Precisely. The material we looked at highlights 5 main types: hepatitis A, B, C, D, and E.
Okay, 5.
And what's really crucial to understand is that they differ significantly, not just in how they're transmitted, but also, how severe they can be and how they're treated.
Let's break down those transmission methods then, because that seems like where the big distinctions lie for prevention, right?
Absolutely. The sources specify that hepatitis A and E are typically spread through contaminated food or water.
Okay, so often linked to sanitation.
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, these are often related to sanitation infrastructure hygiene practices.
Right, makes sense.
But what's interesting is, even with good infrastructure, outbreaks can happen, maybe through travel or specific contamination events. It challenges the idea that these are only issues in certain regions.
That's a good point. And then there's the other group, B, C, and D.
Yes, hepatitis B, C, and D are transmitted differently, primarily through blood, sexual contact, or from mother to child during birth.
So that brings up completely different prevention strategies.
Totally different. It shifts the focus from, say, water quality to things like vaccination, safe sex practices, blood screening, needle exchange programs. It's a different set of public health challenges.
And this leads us straight into maybe the most unsettling part of this, the silent struggle you mentioned. What really stood out for me in the research, and it's frankly a bit concerning, is just how many people live with hepatitis without ever knowing it. How does that work?
That's such a critical point. The symptoms you see, when they do appear, can be really nonspecific
Yeah.
or just easily overlooked.
Like what sort of things?
Well, the material lists fatigue, jaundice, that yellowing of the skin and eyes, abdominal pain, maybe dark urine.
Things you could easily blame on something else. Stress, maybe. Or just feeling run down.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
so easy to dismiss them, which is why it often progresses unnoticed for years, even decades.
So if the symptoms are often subtle or just not there, how do people find out? What's the usual path to diagnosis?
Diagnosis typically involves specific blood tests. Doctors look for viral markers or antibodies, and they'll often do liver function tests as well.
Okay.
And the sources really stress this. Early detection is absolutely key. It's vital for preventing that long-term damage, like cirrhosis.
Which is serious liver scarring, right?
Very serious. It prevents the liver from working properly, or even preventing liver cancer, which is a major risk with chronic hepatitis B and C. This whole silent nature just underlines the huge challenge.
And speaking of that long-term damage, the sheer scale of hepatitis as a global health issue is, well, it's staggering when you look at the figures. What do the sources tell us about the worldwide impact?
Our material really highlights hepatitis B and C as the major global health concerns,
Because of the chronic aspect.
precisely because those chronic infections can indeed lead to those really serious conditions we just mentioned, cirrhosis and liver cancer. It's why it's so vital for everyone listening to understand how widespread this is and the potential long-term risks.
And there's a statistic in our sources that really, I think, drives this home. When I read it, I actually had to reread it.
Yes, it's quite sobering, isn't it? According to the World Health Organization, over 300 million people worldwide are living with chronic hepatitis.
300 million.
And here's the kicker. A huge proportion of them, perhaps the majority, are completely unaware they have it.
Wow.
That number, more than anything else, really forces us to think about the enormous task ahead for global screening efforts and just general awareness campaigns.
It really does. But despite this silent nature and the massive global impact, there is significant scientific hope, isn't there? That came through strongly in the sources, too. What's the news on treatment and prevention?
Oh, absolutely. There are powerful tools available now, and the progress, particularly in the last couple of decades, has been pretty remarkable.
Like vaccines.
Yes, the material clearly notes that we have highly effective vaccines for hepatitis A and B. These are really foundational for prevention, especially starting in childhood.
Okay, so A and B have vaccines. What about for people who are already infected, especially with the chronic types like B and C? What's the outlook?
That's where some of the most exciting scientific breakthroughs have happened. For hepatitis C, the antiviral medications, specifically the newer direct-acting antivirals or DAAs, they're revolutionary.
Revolutionary how?
Well, they offer cure rates now exceeding 95% for many people. We're talking about turning what used to be a lifelong, often debilitating illness into something that can be cured, often in just 8 to 12 weeks of treatment.
That's incredible. A cure.
It really is transformative.
Yeah.
And for hepatitis B, while a cure is still more complex, the current antiviral medications are very effective at suppressing the virus, managing the condition long-term, and significantly reducing the risk of liver damage and cancer.
So real progress there, too.
Definitely. And beyond the medicines, the sources also emphasize crucial lifestyle factors. Things like avoiding excessive alcohol, practicing safe sex, ensuring sterile needles are used for injections or tattoos.
Yeah.
They're all vital parts of the prevention picture. It's a truly holistic approach that's needed.
Right. It's not just about the drugs.
Not at all. It's prevention, detection, treatment, and lifestyle.
And finally, something else the sources touch on, which I think is important. Behind all these numbers and the science, there are human stories.
Yes, and what's fascinating, or perhaps just deeply important, is the emphasis that, and I'm quoting loosely here, behind every diagnosis is a person, and behind every cure, a community. Researchers, doctors, nurses, caregivers, families, it adds such a vital human dimension, doesn't it? It takes it beyond just data points and reminds us of the real-world impact.
Absolutely. So let's bring this together. What does this all mean for you, our listener? This deep dive into hepatitis, I think, really shows that while it might be a silent struggle, awareness itself is incredibly powerful.
It really is.
Just understanding the different types, how they spread, and why finding it early is so critical that knowledge can make a huge difference, not just for individuals, but for public health globally.
And if we connect this to the bigger picture, the message from our sources is clear and actually quite hopeful.
Yeah.
With sustained education, strong prevention efforts like vaccination programs, and continued innovation in treatments, we genuinely can turn the tide against hepatitis. It's a powerful testament, I think, to what collective effort and scientific progress can achieve.
That's a great way to put it. Now, something for you to mull over as we wrap up. Knowing that staggering figure, over 300 million people living with chronic hepatitis, so many unaware, what single, perhaps innovative step do you think could have the biggest impact on boosting global awareness and driving early detection?
That's a big question.
It is. Something to think about. Keep that question in mind as you go about your day.